The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
Hi Debbie, how are you?
I'm good, Rod.
I feel marvellous.
You look
The
good.
last 2 nights I've gone to bed at 8:30 / 9 o'clock at night, had a nice milky drink, bit of reading and a great sleep. I feel so much better for it.
And I'm well gel because I have intended to go to sleep early but failed.
But sleep is so important, isn't it?
Yes, a third of our life sleeping, it's very important.
Yeah. Do you normally go to bed, sort of midnight, up at 5,
No,
hungover in the morning?
no, I aim to go to bed about 8:30 or 9 to get up at 5, but I tend to be going to sleep at about 10:30. It's just too late.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. So bit boring. Might not do it the weekend.
Well, it doesn't do much for your social life.
Okay, well, we're not talking about sleep today. We're talking about stigma and the stigma of online dating. How that's sort of gone, really, I suppose. You've looked at you love your research. So just hit me with a bit of that research.
Well, you're right. Online dating has lost much of its stigma, and it's down to the fact that so many of us are now online. Because when the first dating sites launched back in the 90s, only 14% of American adults were internet users, but now nearly 9 out of 10 are online. And so dating in that way has become normal. It's become totally acceptable. Loads and loads of us are doing that.
And you told me a story. Well, you wouldn't tell me the whole story about your experience. Go on, tell me now.
Well, a really good friend of mine, bless her heart, set up a dating profile for me some years ago, a long time ago, actually. Unfortunately, she ticked the box that said, I'm interested in women. Now, I love women, but I'm not romantically attracted to them, so that caused a little bit of an issue. I had contact, though, from some wonderful ladies.
Yeah.
But that was where it ended.
Just make sure you tick the right box in future, everybody. Now, we've got our reporter Julie Davis to look at this stigma issue about how it's disappeared. Julie's needy, Debbie.
Is she needy?
She's so needy.
Needy?
She texts me.
Oh.
She rings me.
No.
She's needy. I don't like needy people. Anyway, let's hear from Julie.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
OK, we're joined by Julie Davis. Hello, Julie.
Good morning.
You all right?
I'm good, thank you, yes.
Now, we're just talking about needy. You're quite needy, aren't you?
I'm quite needy. There's lots of things I need, but unfortunately I don't get them all. Yes, yeah.
But that's not a good trait in people, is it, being needy?
Being needy? No, not necessarily. It's not necessarily an attractive trait. People like, when it comes to dating, people like people to be independent.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. OK,
yeah.
I'm only joking. You're not really needy.
Oh, thank you.
You know.
You need me more than I need you. That's what I'd say.
I definitely need you.
We made me blush.
OK, today we're talking about the sort of stigma that might still surround internet dating.
Yeah.
Because years ago it was sort of seen as probably only a few people might do it. Now it's massive. Everybody seems to be online dating. Olderdatingonline.com, extremely busy, lots of members. So what's your research sort of churned up?
Similar to what you're saying, really, but obviously the number of internet dating sites has grown vastly in number over the years, and there's a site somewhere that caters to all tastes, no matter how varied they are, no matter what you're looking for, there'll be a site for it. Because obviously asking someone out has always taken a bit of courage, and as you say, back in the day there weren't these internet dating sites, and a few decades ago, you'd have to go to a bar or to a club, and it was generally seen as the man who asked the lady out rather than the other way round. But nowadays, dating online means there's much greater equality when it comes to who asks who out. And women can quite brazenly ask out men without being perceived as too pushy or too forward. And of course, today, everyone is so busy with jobs and families and et cetera, the pace of life is so much faster that being able to go online, register a profile, upload some photos, is a much quicker and easier way of finding a potential dating partner than trying to find the time to go out to a bar or to a club or perhaps meet somebody at work. Yeah.
So do you think the stigma's gone completely?
I don't think it's gone completely. I think there are still a lot of people who might not want to necessarily admit they met their partner online, even though there's thousands and thousands of people doing it. I think because at the beginning it was seen as a desperate way of meeting people, a sort of furtive way that you did at home on your own, and it was almost like, oh, you can't go out and meet someone in a bar, you had to do it at home by going onto the computer and going to a dating site. But I think it's more in people's own heads. I think if people themselves are happy with how they met their partner, then there's no reason for that stigma to still exist. So I think it's more the individual than society itself. I think society is far more accepting nowadays, and of course with technology, the technology is so great nowadays. You can log on to your dating site and your dating profile on your phone, on your mobile phone, on an iPad, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can check to see what matches you might have, rather than obviously having to wait to the Friday night when you go out to a bar. Yeah.
And can you see this? I mean, I predict it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Is that the way you view it?
Yeah, definitely. There was a survey conducted last year, actually. This was actually in Australia, by a particular dating website, and it showed that when it came to online dating, it was predominantly popular with sort of a 35 to 45-year-old age demographic, but in less than 10 years, this has been taken over. So the survey looks back at the past 10 years, and in 10 years, it's everybody, from everybody as young as students. I mean, there's so many dating apps nowadays for students, all the way through to older people, much older people. There's lots of sites, as you've already mentioned. Olderdatingonline.com is tremendously successful for people who are older, at a different stage in life, and looking for dating partners.
And just finally, when you've looked at this, do you think many people who are actually on the dating sites, do you reckon they talk about it with their friends and family now, whereas maybe before they wouldn't? Definitely.
I mean, I can talk from a personal example. My mum's in her 60s, and she's on a dating site. She's been on a number of different ones. She's on a particular one at the moment. But when she first did it, we're going back about 2 years now, I myself didn't find out until she'd eventually told one of my sisters, who told me. So I think she was a little bit worried about it. Nowadays, I've actually helped her upload her dating profile, choose which pictures she's going to put on, and she happily tells me about her dates and who she's met, etc. So yeah, I think people will tell nowadays, yeah.
So you're actually a dating coach for your mother?
Oh, I am. I'm not sure that sounds correct, does it?
Yeah.
I think I'd veto some of the ones she'd said yes to personally, but, personal choice.
Yeah, lovely. I like that. So that's our reporter, Julie Davis.
The unneedy.
Yeah, the unneedy Julie Davis. She's come out with some good points there, though, hasn't she?
Yes.
What worries me a bit is if Julie's advising her mother about dress sense, because Julie's dress sense can be a bit racy. High heels, short skirts, that type of thing. So hopefully she's not advising her mum on that.
Well, she always looks gorgeous, and she has the ability to kind of, work out what might work for her mum.
But she's... it's interesting that, the older
really
generation can get advice from, other people.
Well, of course, and especially with technology, because the younger you are, the more you tend to be up with the latest technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I want to add that technology has actually been paired with dating for centuries. As I've read on the net, in 1700, barely a decade after the invention of the modern newspaper, there was the first matrimonial service, and they ran ads on behalf of single men and women who were desperate to find a good husband or wife. And that was associated with stigma then, but people still found their ideal partners and found true love through them. And this is the way it is now with online dating. As more and more people find their significant others through that method, the stigma gets less and less.
It's just going to snowball and snowball.
Yes.
What was that date again? When was that date?
The newspaper date,
Yeah.
1700.
Really?
Yes.
You love your research, Dave.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.